Hi Leo, welcome to your January 2020 Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you that are new, for those of you that are true, thank you for being here. Please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean everything. For those of you that are continued subbies, you know I love you. So my ascendant brothers and sisters, welcome to 2020. A brand new month, a brand new year, a brand new decade for you ahead to do all of those wonderful things that you should choose. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And if you I want to announce that come March 1st, I will be launching my Mindset Magic course. I can't wait for it. I've worked really hard on this one and I really believe it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So stay tuned for lots of little tidbits and teasers all about that. In the meantime, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what the month ahead has in store for us. So let's have a look, see actions and interactions with the world at large. And this month we get the Eight of Swords, right? So yeah, Eight of Swords is, yes, it can be constriction, yes, it can be confinement. Now, this is interesting because we've got that big conjunction that's taking place here in our sixth house, right? Especially if you're an ascendant Leo like myself. Now, the Eight of Swords, aside from everything else, aside from constriction, confinement, sometimes it can be imprisonment, like sometimes it can fit, it can be like you're feeling imprisoned. The thing about the Eight of Swords though, it asks you to be in something for the long haul. And the fact that you've got this in your actions and interactions with the world at large, it means that this month there is something that you are choosing to be in it for the long haul. This is about you saying to yourself, you know what? I understand that the gratification from this thing, this project, this wherever it is that I'm putting my energy, I understand that the rewards are going to be things that come later down the line. I understand that there is not going to be an immediate payout. I get that this is not going to be something that shapes up overnight. This is going to require my hard work, my dedication, and also to understand where I have the power to commit to something, where I have the power to see something through, to completion, but ultimately to be in it for the long haul. The Eight of Swords is not an easy experience because sometimes it can see you feeling trapped. Now, the fact that you've got this in your actions and interactions with the world at large, it really is asking you, do you have it in you? Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's a project, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, like whatever it is for you personally, you will know because you'll feel like where I'm speaking about this for in your specific lifescape. And the Eight of Swords is basically saying to you, are you in it for the long haul? Can you be in it for the long haul? I remember giving myself a reading years ago, which I don't very often do. I know that's always very surprising to people, but I kind of work on the lines of, because it's there, you could get addicted to it. So I don't really read for myself too often, but I remember giving myself a reading years ago, and I mean a good almost approaching 10 years ago now. And one of the really prominent cards in a really prominent position was the Eight of Swords. And I remember having this feeling that, you know what, if you're going to do this, it's going to be with you for a long time. So you need to think about whether this is actually right for you. And the Eight of Swords is seeing you this month, really asking yourself here in January, the first month of the year, the first year of the decade. It sees you really asking yourself, am I in this for the long haul? And if I'm not, then I need to make that decision now. That is your power this month. You have the power to choose, but you must choose. Nobody can make the decision for you. It's got to be your choice. All right, so your money and materials this month. What is going on in the finances? And this month we get the Three of Wands. Beautiful card for finances, beautiful card for money and materials, because it suggests expansion of those things. So whatever it is that you choose to put your power and your energy into, whatever it is that you're choosing to do for the long run, for the long haul, The Three of Wands is basically there to say yes, the expansion of resources, the expansion of physical, tangible materials is all there for you, providing you're ready to do the work, to be in it for the long haul. The results that you want, the results that you hope for can absolutely be there. With the Three of Wands, this kind of says that whatever seeds you plant now, whatever seeds you sow now have the potential to really grow into some amazing things for you, which is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I really love this. This is a card of windfalls. It's a card of real benefits and blessings when it comes to work, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to a business that you own, all of those things. So money looks good this month. Finances look good. Finances look like they are expanding. Now, because it comes next to that Eight of Swords, it does suggest a few things. One, it could be slow, steady, but sustainable growth. Two, it's going to require your consistent effort and dynamic input. And three, you've got to think outside of your own proverbial box, right? You've got to think further afield than you ever have before. When this comes to your physical self, this really suggests a boost in energy. It suggests that you really have this kind of goal in mind, whether that's a makeover, whether it is that you want to lose weight, whether it is that you want to get healthier in general, whether you want to improve your fitness. Maybe this year you decide to commit yourself to running that marathon. Maybe this year you commit yourself to, I don't know, bench pressing, 100 kg. I don't, is that, yeah, well, it's possible for some people, not for me at this moment in time though. Right, but this is about you really challenging yourself on a material level, on a resources level, but also on a physical level, to really challenge yourself to get the best out of your body, to get the best out of your health. Love this, really, really love it. Actually, the Three of Wands is a blessing of Jupiter. So interesting, because Jupiter has just moved into Capricorn, right? Well, I say just, like it moved into Capricorn back in December. So as I'm reading this is really interesting, because it means Jupiter is actually starting to get to work there, right? Lovely. Communications with the world at large. You've got the Four of Pentacles. This is asking you what you hold on to, right? And this will really see you being very cut and dry about what and who you're holding on to. Now, the Four of Pentacles can sometimes be stability, foundation, building of things. The fact that you've got this in your communications right next to that Three of Wands, this is about building a network. This is about building the kind of team around you that are going to be really influential in what you do, but also to help you be more influential. It's going to be about you finding people that appear to be tried and true at what it is that they do. So I really like this. Now, in the more challenging aspect of the Four of Pentacles, this will be seeing you really asking yourself, what is it that I'm holding on to, or who is it that I'm holding on to, and how is it that they are either stunting my growth or facilitating my growth. This could see you very, very practical, very grounded about the things that you want to do, about what it's going to take you to achieve those things, and you can be very vocal about this. Interestingly enough, I feel like this is going to be a month where you're listening a lot more than you're talking, which in my case would be a fucking miracle. We're just going to say it, right? This will definitely see you listening a lot more though. It's almost like you're paying more attention to what people say, more attention to what people do, and you're making your decisions and your movements forward based on the information that's coming at you, right? Based on the input that is being given. So, personal relationships, what's going on in the heart and hearth? This month we get the Star card. Beautiful. I love it, absolutely love it. Right, so for those of you that are single, your Star card right next to the Four of Pentacles, it really does see you looking for somebody that's on your wavelength, but maybe for some of you this is about reaching out for someone or something different to what you've known. For those of you that are single, this really sees you reaching out further afield. Maybe people, maybe you're meeting somebody online dating for sure. Now the interesting thing is, the Star card represents Aquarius, right? So it's the internet, it's the future, things that are progressive, all of that stuff. But it falls next to the Four of Pentacles. So this really does, for me, it suggests that maybe you're finding somebody that is more mature. Maybe you're connecting with somebody that's more mature. It could be somebody that's older than you, somebody that has a different outlook to you, maybe somebody that is of a foreign culture to you, right? There's a big connection point there. But relationships look blessed this month all in all. And then for those of you that are partnered, this really looks lovely because it means that you and your partner are building on the things that you want, but doing it together. And it's almost like you're becoming friends again, right? Like you're saying to yourselves, you know what, yes, we're partners. Yes, we're each other's support network and all the rest of it, but let's get back to being friends. Let's get back to having more fun. Let's get back to the enjoyment. And ultimately, let's start asking ourselves, what are the joint wishes that we have? What are the things that we want to work on together? Where is it that we see ourselves 5, 10, 15 years from now, right? Really asking some of the big questions of your relationship. And because you've got the Star card, it's easier because your energy is flowing better together, which is beautiful. All right, so let's have a look. This first week of the month, you got the Judgment card right underneath that Eight of Swords. I mean, that in itself, it really is something that could hold, and I say this with all caution because I know some people will go mad and then throw the whole thing out and just be like, oh well, January's a write-off. It really isn't, but it could see you really having to pay attention to where you can and can't make moves, where you can move unilaterally and where you can't move at all. The Judgment card is blast from the past. It's things that require you to do things properly, require you to close things down properly. I'm paying a special attention to this because I'm moving into a personal year 9, which is all about completions, endings. The Eight of Swords and the Judgment card, for a select few of you, this really is a time for you to look at your health. This is a time for you to really pay attention to that stuff, because it's anything that pops up here in January, especially in this first week, do not just dismiss it. And you guys know me, I never tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but I'm going to tell you what you should do in this respect. If you have any sort of health issue or niggle come up here, especially in this first week of January, get it sorted, get to a doctor, get a second opinion if the first one doesn't feel right to you. I can't give you medical advice, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. What I can tell you is that under this energy, you need to look after your physical health. So if something comes up here at the beginning of January, fix it. Right, fix it there and then so that it doesn't become a problem later. This isn't, I don't care how old school you are, I don't care how manly you are or any of that stuff. If something comes up, get it looked at, get it seen to, right? Because that's the easiest way for you to deal with it. Outside of that, your actions and interactions, the Judgment card is going to ask you, what are the things that you need to close down now? What are the things that you need to free yourself from? What are the things that, in order for you to commit to these new things or this new path that you're heading onto, what is it that you need to close down? What is it that you need to release? What is it that you really need to let go of? Because that's going to reveal to you where you can go from here. Your second week of the month, you've got the Justice card. I mean, this is lovely. Because Justice card is, yes, it's contracts, it's legal stuff. I mean, this with the Eight of Swords and the Judgment card, whatever it is that you're doing, just make sure all of it is above board. Nothing surreptitious. If somebody comes to you with a get-rich-quick scheme, throw it out. Those things are not going to be favoured under the energy of 2020. The energy just isn't there for it. Your tried and true tested methods are going to be the ones that get you through. With the Justice card underneath the Three of Wands, this could really see a grand balancing of the scales. This could literally be where some form of karma comes back in a beneficial or supportive way. This is where maybe you've put in an effort somewhere before and completely forgotten about it, and then here in the second week of January, someone or something shows up and says, oh, by the way, you know, I just want to help you with this. Or it could be anything like that. But your Justice card, yeah, contracts, legal stuff, making big decisions, a big decision to commit to your future, maybe even making could see you making a plan to do something bigger than you expected, or maybe something escalates faster than you expected. If you haven't seen the Uranus special, I would check that out, because I did those about 2 years ago now, and they're really worth looking at because there's a lot of stuff that came up for Leo in that one. Interestingly enough, Jupiter is trine Uranus under, I think for a lot of January. So that's going to be an interesting energy that's coming through as well. Your third week of the month, you have the Lovers card underneath the Four of Pentacles. I mean, I really like this because it does suggest, look, you've got big decisions to make. You've got, some of them are about how you move forward. For some of you, this could be about your home. For others, this could be about possibly even the country that you live in. You got the Lovers card rules Gemini, so therefore it rules not only the decisions but also the facts. And this comes underneath the Four of Pentacles, listening much, speaking little, and ultimately dealing with just the facts, right? Everything that you do has to be above board. You especially, because the conjunction is taking place in your 6th house, right? So your service to others, the way that you show up in in your work, in your job, in how you work for or around others is going to be really, really important. Okay, and then the 4th week of the month, you've got the Magician card right underneath the Star card. I mean, your relationships can be beautiful this month, or, whether that's familial, professional, platonic, your relationships are going to be the bulk of what supports you throughout this month. There will be moments where people just show up and seem to, just want to help you in some way, shape or form, which is beautiful. The Magician card as well, for those of you that are single, you get this with the Star card, this is about you communicating with somebody that is completely different, but also somebody that rocks your world. For those of you that are partnered, this really looks like you and your partner are building something, or maybe something spontaneous shows up for you guys to work on. It could be an opportunity to move that comes quickly. For others of you, this could be an opportunity, that's attached to work that, maybe prompts or forces a move. Definitely possible under these cards. Now, yeah, I mean, these first 2 weeks of the month, especially as we come into that lunar eclipse that's taking place on the 10th, I believe it is, that's happening in your 12th house, especially for those of you that are ascendant Leos. So that's going to be really a big moment for you. It's going to be a big aha moment, but it will also see one very big cycle coming to close in your life. And this 8 of Swords and Judgment card with the Justice, this really feels for me like there's some big part of your karma that is being released now. And it really is. It's almost like the feeling that I'm getting from these cards is there's something that's saying to you, I'm letting it go. Karma, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I'm letting this go. I'm releasing you from this. The Judgment card and the 8 of Swords is, are you going to hang on to it? Are you ready to phase this thing out of your life? Are you ready to release this now? Big question, right? Because it's basically saying to you, whatever carried over from last year, this year will be eliminated, but you need to allow that to happen as well. All right, so your key to the month is the 8 of Pentacles. Work, work, work. Whatever you're doing, you better work, right? Show up. Do the work, be in it for the long haul, understand and get used to this idea that there isn't going to be any instant gratification throughout this year. By understanding that, you will really, really be able to make some big big, bold headway that can really come in here. But that 8 of Pentacles really just says that providing you're willing to do the work, and that message has been throughout the zodiac, and it will be because of the energy of 2020. Providing you're willing to do the work, all things could come good. Now, finally, look at this. You've got 2 8s here. 8s are about power. They're about material success. They're about building in the real world. They're about where you have power and where you don't, but they're also about karmic debts being settled, about rewrites when it comes to karma. It's about what you've put out and seeing the results of those things. Here in January, you could be seeing the results of a lot of things that just kind of show up for you and have you go like, wow, and this is both beneficial and challenging, right? It's going to be a mixed bag. It's not just going to be all one thing or all one way. So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.